Something remarkable happened recently, and almost no one noticed. No dramatic headlines, no CNN tickers, no emergency war room visuals. But this quiet moment could reshape not just Ukraine's war, but the future of Western defense itself. Sweden and Ukraine have signed a letter of intent, a formal commitment for the potential transfer of up to 150 Saab Gripen E fighter jets. It's not a final deal yet, but it's serious. If completed, it would become the largest aircraft export order in Sweden's history.
Dark notice. The unseen exposed.
At first glance, it might sound like another military contract, but beneath it lies a deeper story about how nations build power, not just with soldiers, but with factories, production lines, and independence. The Gripen E, designed by Saab AB, is unlike most modern jets. It's engineered for survival. While aircraft like the F-35 demand high-maintenance bases and long runways, the Gripen can take off from short, damaged, or even rural highways. It was built for contested airspace, for resilience, for nations that can't afford to lose access to their main airfields. It's also far cheaper, roughly one-third the operational cost of a fifth-generation fighter. For Ukraine, this is not about luxury. It's about survival and transformation. Right now, Ukraine's Air Force is a patchwork of aging Soviet-era MiGs and Su-27s. The Gripen E represents a full pivot away from that legacy system toward a NATO-integrated modern ecosystem. It's not just about flying sorties. It's about training, maintaining, and building a sustainable Air Force capable of scaling over time. But this deal also puts Sweden in a completely new light. For decades, Saab has struggled to compete against American giants like Lockheed Martin or European coalitions like Eurofighter. Most Gripen exports were small: 14 aircraft to Hungary, 14 to the Czech Republic, 36 to Brazil. Even the Swedish Air Force itself operates fewer than 100. Now suddenly, a potential 150 aircraft deal forces Saab to double its production capacity, something that hasn't happened in modern Swedish history. And that expansion doesn't just mean building jets. It means jobs, partnerships, and industrial leverage across Europe. In a single move, Sweden could shift from a quiet Nordic partner to a central industrial power inside NATO. But what makes this story even more significant is Canada's sudden involvement. While much of the world is focused on the Ukraine front, Canada has been quietly exploring its options, not just as a buyer, but as a potential builder of the Gripen E. Saab has confirmed that if Canada selects the Gripen for its future fighter requirements, the aircraft would be built, maintained, and upgraded in Canada, in collaboration with Canadian companies such as IMP Aerospace and Bombardier. And that changes everything. Because when a nation moves from simply buying weapons to actually building them, it rewires its entire industrial ecosystem. It means the country isn't just signing checks anymore. It's building skills, technology, and control over its own defense future. For decades, Canada's defense identity has been tied to the United States. It buys American systems, follows American doctrine, and remains deeply integrated in US-led supply chains. But this potential partnership cracks that model open. If Canada joins Saab's manufacturing program, it would become part of the same production network that supplies Ukraine's Air Force, effectively positioning Canadian factories inside one of the most urgent defense supply chains in the world right now. That means new aerospace jobs, new technology transfers, and a new kind of geopolitical leverage. Because production isn't just economics, it's power. Building, maintaining, and upgrading jets at home means fewer dependencies, more local autonomy, and the ability to adapt independently as technology evolves. It transforms Canada from passive buyer into active participant in NATO's industrial backbone. Of course, Canada hasn't signed anything yet. Its government remains committed to the F-35 program, which already has billions invested. But the Gripen proposal presents something the F-35 doesn't: domestic manufacturing sovereignty. It's a rare chance for Canada to move from consumer to producer, from client to collaborator. For Sweden, it's a revival of relevance. For Ukraine, it's a step toward long-term survival. And for Canada, it might be the first real opportunity in decades to rebuild an aerospace identity that isn't entirely dependent on the United States. That's why this quiet letter of intent matters far beyond the battlefield. Because when countries start changing who builds what, who funds what, and who controls
supply chains, it always trickles down to jobs, to technology, to how nations define their independence. Deals like this rarely make breaking news, but history often turns on quiet moments like these, when a contract in Sweden hints at a transformation that could stretch from the skies over Ukraine to the factories of Montreal and Halifax. The truth is, countries that can build their own tools shape their own futures. And this might just be the start of that story. If you found this analysis helpful, hit like, subscribe, and tell me, should Canada pursue Gripen manufacturing? Is it a smart move toward independence or a risky geopolitical bet?